What's up, everyone? This is Denim Richards. Of course, you know me as the CEO of the Opulent Entertainment Group, and it looks a little bit different from where we usually are because we are at a phenomenal restaurant, TANG, right here in South Africa. And with me, seated directly to my left, is a phenomenal executive chef, and I'm going to let him introduce himself because I want to just call him chef because I think that's like the dope thing to do is just call somebody chef because that's what they do. But what this is an opportunity where we always are talking about the business of entertainment, right? And we're talking about the value chain of the entertainment industry. And I've been so intentional about making sure that you guys are getting content that's not just centered around acting, writers, directors, and producers. And letting you guys know over and over again that part of the entertainment industry is the entire value chain, and food, especially restaurants, are a massive part of that value chain. So, brother, thank you so much for being here. So introduce yourself to everybody, and let's dive in.
How's everybody? My name is Victor. I'm the chef, a group chef of TANG Restaurants. So I'm actually a group chef of Mirabelle Collection, not just TANG Restaurants.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a chef.
So how long have you been doing this? Like, where did the passion for? I mean, I imagine you have some type of passion for food.
Yes.
Where did that start? How did that? Is it new? When did that happen?
So it started at my very early age.
Okay.
I was pretty much an 8-year-old kid.
Okay.
My mom just asked me to make pap in Zambia.
Okay.
If I had to say, introduce a little bit more about myself, I'm actually from Zambia, if I had to say so.
Okay. Which part of Zambia?
Kitwe.
Okay,
I'm from
Kitwe.
Kitwe, yes.
Okay.
And so mom just asked me to help her make pap. Since just holding that whole thingy and making a pot, that made me fall in love with cooking.
Wow.
And I've never changed. I tried doing engineering, computer engineering.
Okay.
Growing up, which is a job we can talk about as we go along. But food has only been my passion.
Wow. So so growing up in Zambia and wanting to do food, what was the experience like? You know, a lot of times when people are talking about the things that they want to do, the biggest issue that they usually have is that there's not access to those opportunities, right? So was there culinary schools that you were going to? Like, what was that process, or did you just learn everything at home until you got the opportunity?
So what happened was I moved to Cape Town in 1999, and I think I was 10 or 11 that time.
Okay.
And being in Cape Town, this way now we're exposed to the culinary and so on and so forth. And family-wise, never believe in being a chef. I always believe like a female should cook, not a man.
Oh man, right.
It came to the point where that's how I ended up in the computer engineering.
Okay.
I went after my matric. I went to studying at university at Peninsula, and I started learning the computer engineering, but it was never my passion.
Right.
I was forced into it.
Yeah.
So it got to the point where I was like, nah. 6 months down the line, keep it. I'm not doing that.
I'm over it.
I'm going to do what I have to do, work hard, save money, and go to culinary school.
Wow.
That's what I did.
So, okay, this is something that's so key. I love that you said this. So you had this passion, but the passion had to become practical.
Exactly.
And so what you did was then you said, I'm going to go do a job, like go find just a job so I can take that money from the job so that I can go and invest it into my path that I actually want to go into, which was food.
Yes.
Okay, this is very important because we talk about all the time now in this generation where it's like the moment you've decided that you want to do something, you think that it just happens.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people, especially like as an actor, you know, we have to take, you know, acting classes, or if you have to go to university or whatever, but then sometimes you don't have money, but instead of going out and getting a job, everyone just kind of waits for somebody to come and say, I deserve, it's not fair.
Exactly.
And it sounds like you didn't really take that path, that you were like, no, I need to take control of my own destiny and figure out things. So how long were you in school for?
I was in school for 3 years.
Okay.
At International Hotel School.
Okay.
In Cape Town. And I graduated in 2011. While I was there, I was working.
Wow.
At Table Bay Hotel as well.
Okay.
In Cape Town as
Yeah.
well. So I was kind of putting everything together, paying my school, paying my rent.
Wow.
Being in Cape Town with no parents, just brothers. Sure. So you have no one to depend on in terms of school fees and stuff like that. So we had to do what to do.
Wow. So once you got from that, what was kind of the catalyst where you started to see, because I imagine you had to do a lot of kind of odd jobs in the kitchen before you don't get to just like go to school, graduate, and then become an executive chef, right? Like that doesn't happen. No. So talk a little bit about, now you've graduated, right? And now your first like opportunity in like a restaurant after graduation. What was that job? Like, what did you have to do in the kitchen?
I was a pot washer, and I think most executive chefs started there. I started a very small restaurant in Observatory, in Cape Town, and it was literally a very French classic restaurant, very small. And I was just a pot washer, and the chef was teaching me how to make sauces. While I'm in school, I was just, after school, I go straight down there and I wash, and they teach me how to make sauces. That's why I'm so in love in the sauces. When I got hired at Table Bay, I was hired as a associate.
Wow.
So I spent as like pretty much was just making sauces.
Wow. Like that's your job.
That was my job.
My job, you just make sauce.
Just make sauces. If come to service, then I can assist within service side, but
just focus on sauce. Yeah. So this is great because, again, like I talk about all the time, this is part of the entertainment value chain. And there's this misconception a lot of times where it's like, oh, I've graduated from school and now I immediately get to go into the job that I went to school for. Like there's people that go to film school. They come out as a cinematographer and they think that the first job that they're going to get right out of college is being a cinematographer, being a director. When I kind of got done with my, I guess, schooling, because I didn't go to university. I always went to the school of hard knocks, as we say in the U.S. But I had to start as a PA, right, which is a production assistant, right, or a personal assistant. And my job was like, hey, I want to be this actor. I want to be on set. But me being on set was me going around for whoever I was working for to get them water, to go babysit their kid, right? Like to do all of these things that had nothing to do with what, but it was part of like paying your dues, like getting into the space. I think one of the most understated things is you have to kind of start to get yourself in the environment, right? Like don't sit there and think immediately, okay, I just want to go right to being a chef. Learn how a restaurant works, right? A restaurant doesn't open just at 11 o'clock. There's like, most of the time people are there at 8:30, setting up the kitchen, turning on the burners, defrosting things. So it's like those types of things. And I love how when you're talking about how you're just doing sauces, that's like a very meticulous thing where it's like, this is all you do. But do this great so that then you can graduate to other things. So then when you started as making, pot washing and all these other things, and then you're doing sauces, then what was the progression from there?
So finally, I'm going to just mention what I always say to my staff is that you never know who's watching. So when I was doing sauces, I was consistent, following the recipe and consistent with my sauce, especially the jus. Because the jus in the French terms, the beef stock juice, all of that. That is a 3 days process. And I was very consistent. And you got constantly skimming the fat out of it. And so it's reducing. You put the red one, it's reducing. So it takes a 3-day process to make that one sauce.
Wow.
And I'll come in very early. My shift meant to be, let's say, because we were a Clinton grill at Table Bay, we were like 18. So we come in only for dinner service. So I used to come way before my shift to just make sure my sauces are actually perfect. And my head chef saw that in me. He's the one who started pushing me now to cooking it. Like come jump into the kitchen and like see already like your passion in it, like just to making sauce, because the sauce and the marinade, that's what makes most of the dishes. That's pretty much what I have here. I just have that, the sauce and the marinade, that's what make the flavor.
Brings out the flavor.
So that's where I got progressed to the CDP, to the Commie, to the CDP, and I left Table Bay and I started traveling all over other restaurants.
So what was some of the more challenging aspects about when you started to make that progression now into actually cooking and finding, because I imagine for some people that when they're chefs, it's like trying to find that home, like where's the like that place of consistency. So oftentimes, like just I started when I was we have this saying in the U.S. that if you went to people and you said that you were an actor, they would ask you what restaurant you worked at, right? So there's this notion that everybody that's in the industry in the U.S. Works at a restaurant. So I worked at a restaurant. I was a waiter for like 4 years. Yeah.
How was that experience though?
Ooh, it was. Here's my thing. I have a much greater appreciation for service now because of that experience than I ever did beforehand. So like I'm like a massively like over tipper because I'm like, guys, I get what everybody's going through. But it was hard because so much of it was, you know, when you're in the service industry, especially like as a waiter, the customers that come in don't care about who, like what you are, who you are, what you're going through, right? Like, so it's like, you know, I've had those moments where they, you know, they complain and be like, hey, I feel like my waiter, you know, wasn't really here. And I'm like, yeah, he doesn't know I'm going through a breakup. I don't have money for my rent, my car. I don't know how I'm going to get back home, you know, and I still have to sit here and smile and ask you if you want more breadsticks, you know, like, so that's, it's just a different job. But oftentimes within that, it was like, you're always kind of jumping from restaurant to restaurant, looking for the best kind of opportunity that was in alignment with what you wanted to do.